Everyone, we should be safe from the disease. But I wanted to make sure that when we started off that you knew how important it was to have your face mask and gloves. Although I tell Sarah, like this ear right here, it's kind of a floppy ear, and so the mask doesn't really stay. Like it's really bad. Maybe it's just something with my ear, but it doesn't always stay on there the best way. Anyway, it's been quite some time since I did a video for us, and I apologize. You can kind of see me here at work right now. It's been crazy busy at FedEx, and so I apologize for not being able to be super involved, other than getting on some Zooms and doing Bible studies on Sundays. Um, but here I am, and John asked if I could help lead this Wednesday, so here I am. Here's my message, and some things that really have stuck out to me, especially as recently as even yesterday. If you don't know Ravi Zacharias, man, look him up. Uh, what a mighty man of God he was, and how he was able to bring intellectual thinking, and be able to provide that to what a true believer really is, and be able to really challenge those that are not believers, and be able to allow those to see truth. And that's really what he was about. In fact, I was listening to Passion 2020 just this morning, and listening to him speak, and a big part of what he was talking about was truth, and being able to have truth in everything, and how important it is for us to have truth. And thinking about him, and thinking about Billy Graham, and the impacts that they were able to make in the entire world. Not something small, which I think that's where it starts, but being able to make it even larger. And the opportunities that Ravi and Billy Graham have to make such a huge impact in so many people's lives. And my question to you is, are you going to be that impactor for somebody's lives? Am I going to be an impactor for somebody in those lives? You know, it's so important. Even last night, I don't know how big y'all are for The Voice or like American Idol, things like that, but I'm not a big participant in watching those shows, but I do remember through this COVID time when I was like, oh, there's nothing to really watch. Let's watch this first episode, or one of these episodes of The Voice. And Todd, I think it's Tillman, something like that, sang and had a great voice. But then to find out that he was a pastor, I was like, man, this guy's got a real shot. And then Sarah texted me this morning and told me that he won The Voice. And last night, we actually were watching a little bit of the repeats of that, I guess, from last night when they did the final countdown, which was a little past my bedtime, so I didn't listen to that. But he sang a song that is so important to me, and I remember when Jackson was there, and he was like, man, he could have picked out a better song or done a different arrangement of how it was. And the song was I Can Only Imagine. And that song's near and dear to me because I had the opportunity to be able to sing that song at my mom's funeral. But so anytime I hear it, I think it's just special anyway. But Jackson was like, man, he could have done a different arrangement or something like that. Maybe wasn't his best performance, is how it was put. But when it got to the end, and all of the judges that were there were uh, were making their comments, and like Kelly Clarkson was getting choked up because she was like, "There's something different that you bring." Like she was getting choked up. She was like, I just want to see what your church is like." And I looked over at Jackson just to say, man, it's not always about how good it sounds or what we think, but it's the message behind that and how important that was, that here he is on a platform to be able to speak truth and be able to show people that. So what I wanted to do is go over a little part in Galatians, and really where Paul is at, and he's writing, and he says in Galatians 4, right here in verse 17, it says, "Now this I say and testify in the Lord, that you must no longer walk as Gentiles do in the futility of their minds. They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to the hardness of their heart. They become callous and have given themselves up to sensuality, greedy in every practice and every kind of impurity. But that is not the way you learned Christ, assuming that you have heard about him and were taught in him as the truth is in Jesus, to put off your old self, which belongs to your former life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness." Okay, there's always a truth, and us understanding what that truth is, and it later it goes down and it starts talking about some of that, like put away falsehood, right? It's true or false, and how can we make sure that we have truth in everything that we do, right? And let each one of you speak the truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be angry, but do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and give no opportunity to the devil. Let the thief no longer steal, but rather let the laborer doing honest work with his own hands, so that he may have something to share with anyone in need. Do not steal, right? Do not steal. Truth, 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 truth. How do we get it? We're going to hear others talk about us in a way that may be false. Just be upfront and be truthful in what you do. And when I was listening to Ravi's communication, and I'm going to share it on the GroupMe chat and on the Facebook chat that we have, or the Facebook site for Celebration. But I would encourage you, it's 40 minutes, and I know sometimes you get going and you listen and you lose attention, but I would really encourage you to listen to what Ravi has to say. But it comes down to being truth and understanding our identity and who we are in Christ, and being able to set forth, like I said, who's gonna be that next person? You know, it could very well be you, as you're sitting there at your house or at another location and wondering, where do you go from here? Is take some time to be able to look at, all right, God, these are the desires that I have in my heart. How can I make those desires turn into what you want from me? Okay? I truly believe that your generation is a generation that can make a huge impact on what this world has. But it's going to come up to us making those decisions, you to make those decisions. So, well, as we keep going through 4 and then the top of Galatians 5, the very top portion is, "Therefore be imitators of God as beloved children, and walk in love as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God." There's some good truths in, you know what? I think I told you Galatians. That's my fault. It's Ephesians. So I apologize. I've had Galatians on my mind, but I wanted to make sure. So I apologize, but it's Ephesians 4, and then the top of Ephesians 5 as well. So let's use that as some discussion points. Don't miss out tonight. It's going to be fun. I've got a little scavenger hunt. I've got a outstanding list for us to enjoy for the scavenger hunt. So be encouraged, and I look forward to seeing everybody, John and I both, at 6:30. I'll see you then. God bless.